Hey y'all, and welcome to this week's edition of Confederate Shop's Hidden Gem of the Week. This is where we highlight a book that I think you ought to have in your library. This week, I am talking about secession, and in particular, a deep dive into secession. If you want to do that, you need a copy of A Constitutional History of Secession. This is written by John Remington Graham. John is a very well-educated man. He's been endorsed by folks over at the Abbeville Institute, particularly Clyde Wilson, who highly praises his book. This is a bit of a long one. It is, let's see here, it's over 500 pages, but don't let that scare you. It is a good read. It's not a difficult read, although it's scholarly and it cites its materials and it's very in-depth. It's very easy to understand. A few facts about secession, and one that Graham mentions in this book is that it has its roots. Secession and this idea of a people being sovereign has its roots even prior to the establishment of the United States, all the way back to the British Crown in the 1600s. So Graham goes into that to build a foundation of what Americans built the idea of secession and state sovereignty off of. And we hear people talk about secession today. Is it legal? Is it justifiable? He makes a very good case in here that it is both of those things, and there are precedents throughout history to prove that it is legal. This book is going to talk about the nullification crisis. It's going to talk about the Missouri Compromise. It's going to talk about things too like Southern abolitionists and Northern secessionists. So it's going to be a variety of topics and issues. I mentioned as well, he cites all his materials in here, which is very good for a scholarly work. So if you're looking to do a deep dive into secession, I would highly recommend A Constitutional History of Secession. Get yourself a copy today in this week's Hidden Gem.